My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. This morning, I woke up to roughly 100 messages and emails, a combination of the both. And basically, there was a story that they were all sharing. I was sitting at the computer, drinking my coffee, reading this story, and folks, it blew my mind, and I know that it's going to blow yours too. I decided that I would do an outdoor news episode concerning this story, not only because it's outrageous, but because there's some points here that people can learn from, especially for those inexperienced new hikers who are looking at gear, purchasing gear right now. There are points from this story that those individuals need to know. I decided to do this story very much off of the cuff, so I have my phone here, and I will be going over the details because there is a little bit to this story. You've already seen the headline, so you have an idea of what I'm about to talk about here. But the details are even more outlandish once you get into the story itself. On Friday, November 1st, a couple from Colorado were in California. At 6 p.m., they began their hike to Lone Pine Peak, and on Saturday, their plan was to reach the summit of Mount Whitney. So the couple began hiking at 6 p.m. By 3 o'clock in the morning, they had made it 2.7 miles, and they were so exhausted that they went ahead and they set up camp right in the middle of the trail. It was reported that one of the hikers was suffering from severe blisters, while the other had a severe headache. Now this is the kicker, everyone. This is what makes all of this so outlandish. This couple, they set out with over 150 pounds of gear, and in addition, they had 42 pounds of water with them, which is roughly 5 liters. That means that each one of these hikers was carrying roughly 100 pounds of weight each. Technically, it's 96 pounds each. A few hours after the couple turned in for the night, they woke up to snowfall. Unfortunately, they left their shoes outside of their tent, and their shoes had filled with snow. At the same time, the individual who had the headache was still suffering from issues. At that point in time, the couple decided to call in search and rescue. They needed help. By 10 a.m., a SAR team was on the way, and within a few hours, they were rescued and assisted off of the mountain. Ultimately, this couple was able to make it off of the mountain with no issues. They may have been embarrassed, yes, but it was certainly a learning experience. Apparently, this couple, they had gone out and purchased 150 pounds of brand new gear, packed up 5 liters of water, and decided to go out for a trip of a lifetime, even though they had no experience at all in the outdoors. It would have been of a huge benefit for this couple to have watched this channel, the Outdoor Gear Review, before deciding to go on this sort of adventure, making these sort of decisions. The thing is this, everybody. Without a doubt, this is a learning experience for this couple, but they should have had more common sense to go out and do any of this, right? The odds are of an inexperienced hiker being able to carry 100 pounds up to the summit of Mount Whitney. That is not realistic at all. Anytime that you go out and you purchase gear, you're developing your system. You need to test that system out. You need to adapt to that system and also adapt that system to you and your capabilities. Pack that bag, go out for a hike, and see whether or not you can carry that load out realistically, especially when you're talking about extreme amounts of weight. I saw a picture of some of the gear that this couple had with them, and it's unbelievable. We're looking at a Teton Sports Scout backpack. I believe it was a 75 liter. A gigantic sleeping bag that's just as big as the backpack itself. And of course, there was gear and stuff all over the place. It really is amazing to me that they made it 2.7 miles with all of that stuff. That alone is an incredible feat. At the same time, I'm impressed that they were able to carry all of that equipment that far without being injured. Carrying 100 pounds worth of weight is no joke. Don't get me wrong, it's stupid, but at the same time, it's impressive. Ultimately, while this story doesn't have a tragic ending, there are a few things that need to be considered here. This couple, with no experience with heavy loadouts, no experience with elevation and altitude, they went out on a foolhardy trip and they put themselves at risk. At the same time, they put that SARS group at risk. They had to go out there in the cold, in the snow. They had to rescue these people and get them off of that mountain. There's a lot of irresponsibility here, and I think that does need to be considered. That needs to be considered not only by the couple who went out for that trip, but anyone who's considering going out on a trip. You really do have to evaluate your skills, your loadout, your knowledge, the conditions that you're going to face, and basically what you're prepared to face. I'm talking about physicality and how well you're adapted for the elevation and the conditions that you're going to go into. The fact that this couple was carrying about 200 pounds of gear and water, it's funny, but at the same time, it's not, because this couple was so irresponsible. One interesting aspect to this story is the fact that they were able to use their cell phone satellite communication to contact the search and rescue team. That, my friends, is very, very cool. The fact that we have this technology popping up in our phones now really is a lifesaver. In the United States, I believe there's only 2 companies that have that technology in their phones. That would be Apple, and I want to say Google with their Pixel phone. Having that sort of technology, that sort of safety net in a device like this is truly amazing. And I promise you this, that couple from Colorado are thankful that they had that technology with them. The fact that the couple was carrying so much water really was overkill because the area is plentiful in that resource. And as long as you have a water filter, you would be in good shape. But this couple, they didn't even have a water filter. They didn't even have a map of the area. So you can see there, folks, this couple, they really were ill prepared in so many ways. And that, my friends, is why I'm sharing this story with you all. Again, not only because it's outlandish, but because there are some important points to take from this. It is really important to be prepared, to know your limitations, know your skills, know your gear, to be able to handle the loadouts that you pack up. Again, it's not only for your safety, but of the safety of others, those who have to come and get you. And that really does need to be considered. I will say this, everybody. This morning when I was reading about this story and I was telling it to Susie, she made a funny comment. She says, I bet they spent $50 on that 150 pounds worth of gear, and they went out and purchased like the cheapest stuff. There's a reason why those backpacks were so heavy, and it's because they had a lot of inexpensive, super heavy gear with them. This picture here was taken by the Inyo Sartine. Look at the size of that sleeping bag, folks. That is unbelievable. It's that large because it's cheap. And at the same time, you know that bag is super, super heavy. In the end, the purpose of this story is not to make fun of that couple because everybody makes mistakes. Hopefully, by watching this episode, you'll definitely think about your next adventure, especially if you're inexperienced in the outdoors. With that being said, I'm done talking. Sound off in the comment section down below. What do you all think about this crazy story? I would have loved to have seen them put those packs on with all of that water. Unbelievable. Based upon the pictures, I believe they had huge packs and they had their hands full too. You know what I mean? Just insane. Every day the stories get more and more bizarre, right? Just crazy, folks. Crazy. Comment down below, share your thoughts about this story. I will see you all again soon. Take care, be well, strength and honor. Bye for now.